Hello friends and adventurers, today is gonna be the weirdest review I have done yet. Not because it has any kinky stuff, but rather that the game we're covering is unfinished. I'm referring to Gothic Diccuric, the first Gothic mod ever made for the Gothic franchise. So why am I covering it? Honestly, for historical value. Those who are hungry for more Gothic games and content like Archolos or Legend of Asun will find out this is where the Gothic modding scene was born, with a small but ambitious mod called Diccuric. So what's it about? We actually get an intro cutscene. Yeah, it's in Russian, but the plot goes like this. The story starts reminiscent of old fantasy books from the 70s and 80s, with an idyllic kingdom called Geisha. Seems everything was fine. Wine was overflowing, there were no wars until the evil Count Berengar is plotting to murder the king. Oh no! But the magician unravels his machinations and Berengar is judged before the king. Oh yay! Seems for his attempted assassination, he's just sent into exile? Guess we need a plot, huh? So right before he's exiled, Berengar kills the magician that exposed his dastardly plans, loots his family's estates, and departs with as much treasure as possible. 2 decades pass, and on a nearby island close to Geisha's borders, Berengar has assembled a small army of loyal followers, soldiers, mercenaries, and magicians, all hell-bent on overthrowing the king. Our main character is Arderic, a 16-year-old lad who is a little more than a messenger in Berengar's fledgling army. Arderic is an orphan, and he looks up to Berengar as if he's his own father. Here we start our adventure on the island of Etain. Now, I need to point out a few things before we start. Number 1, this mod is unfinished. It was published by Ragnarok Entertainment somewhere around in September 2003, and from what somebody on YouTube has told me, this mod even came packaged with Gothic 1 in Germany 23 years ago. Ragnarok also made the Island mod, which is more of a test mod prior to Diccuric, so the story of Gothic modding began right here. Number 2. The name itself is pretty interesting. If we go to the dev page, apparently Diccuric comes from the Latin saying Dic cur hic, meaning find your destiny, or decide why you are here. And number 3, I'm gonna play the Russian version. It has Russian voice acting, but with English subtitles installed. It's the only version I could make run decently with acceptable crashes. So what our destiny in Diccuric be? Well, mostly we'll be running away from wolves. Arderic starts his adventure near a guard tower and he's supposed to hunt some birds. Things go sideways pretty fast and a pack of wolves show up to ruin our day. I want to mention this is coded in a Gothic 1 game engine, so it has its limitations and animation issues. We eventually make our way to the local citadel, and we are really lacking in direction on what to do. Arderic's motivation is to get noticed by Berengar so he can be taken into his service. To this end, we have a few leads. We can go hunting with a friendly guard, and he's basically an escort quest for us, but he's a badass. I also want to mention that Diccuric first experimented with enemy respawning. Yeah, all enemies respawn in this game, but not all at once and not the same enemies every time. Sometimes you get a wolf from a wolf pack, but if you wait enough days, you'll get a full band ready to chomp your butt. There's essentially 3 plot points and hooks in this mod. A few side quests here and there, but you can tell most of the map is bare bones and the city is pretty unfinished. The first plot point relates to the mages. They're looking for some insignia from some ancient devices scattered around the map. What do? No one knows. The second plot point is about the local diggers who are trying to repair the old crane. We help them out, and later, if we sneak in at night, we can overhear a conversation between them. Seems they're gossiping about how Berengar killed Arderic's father and dumped his body into a cave around here. This plot point is connected to a character we later meet called Lagariman. He's a shifty mercenary who gives us some fetch quests and something about rescuing a bunch of mages trapped in a time bubble of sorts. Later on, he reveals he's an agent of the king, and he personally knew Arderic's father. Spoiler reveal, Arderic's dad was the mage that first uncovered Berengar's plot to assassinate the king in the intro movie. Berengar killed Arderic's father, then lied to him, telling he was just trying to protect his dad. After you reach this point, the mod is pretty much over. There's nothing we can do with this information. We cannot confront Berengar or do anything else. We can explore the map and piece together the direction the story was heading from some clues. Seems there's a local rice farm, but nobody has anything to say, so I'm assuming stuff is gonna happen there. And we also have a fort of mercenaries wearing Templar armor from Gothic 1, but they don't have anything to say, but they pretty much look like locals. There's also this mysterious citadel on top of a mountain that has some puzzles in it. If we enter it, we can also get a set of magical ore armor. There's a couple of secret areas in the game as well. We can uncover a tomb, a puzzle, and later use a teleporter to a secret area on the map. Speaking of, the map is quite huge. Not joking. It's about the size of Gothic 2, if not bigger. There's also plenty of catacombs and secret areas in the main citadel. Seems the developers had a lot of ambition for this mod, but I think that ambition is what killed it mid-stride, which is a crying shame since I actually got curious towards the end to find out what happened. Hope somebody in the Gothic community picks this up and they actually finish it. Or if you know anyone from the development team, I would actually be super curious about their vision for the game. At best, I can assume the story would be something along these lines. I'm just spitballing here, so bear with me. Agents from the king start showing up on the island. Then Berengar is looking for some sort of magical artifact to give him an edge. Arderic's dad is maybe resurrected, but whether he serves Berengar or the king, that is yet to be determined. We'll see a mysterious mage similar to Zardes in the abandoned magical fortress, warning Arderic of a greater danger than a petty warlord. Orcs are probably gonna show up somewhere. The agents of the king die in some sort of accident. Arderic faces Berengar, exacts vengeance for his father, but later on, soldiers show up and conquer the citadel. Due to a lack of witnesses, Arderic is considered part of Berengar's rebel army and sent either to prison or in exile. Maybe something amongst those lines. In any case, that would be Diccuric. It actually had some impact on the Gothic modding community. They experimented with various ideas and scripts that later on made their way into bigger mods. Also, Arderic is featured in other mods, which give a respectful nod to Diccuric. We can meet Arderic in Legend of Asun. Then we also get a glimpse of him in Lobos, bravely trying to defend an island from pirates. And again, we meet him in New Balance on Onar's farm. Seems he gets around a lot. It's just a piece of history showcasing how the Gothic modding scene first took its tentative steps towards the future. With a bare bones map, buggy quests, and janky combat, but also with an air of mystery and a desire to explore the world and see what secrets we can uncover. Play it if you are intrigued, but don't expect any resolution to the plot. The mod, as I said, was never finished. So there we go. I just reviewed an unfinished mod. Go figure. I'm curious. If you are in charge of developing the story for Diccuric, how would you do it? It holds the promise of betrayal, revelation, adventure, growth. So assuming you had the resources to instantly finish it, how would you do it? The skeleton of a story is there, but how would you flesh it out? Let me know. Thank you, friends and adventurers. Stay badass, and remember, the most important story in the world is our own. Thank you, until next we meet. Cheers.